this part of the documentary, the 44-minute mark, he gets into getting invited to speak at an alien, like History Channel, alien, ancient aliens type of conference. And as he's speaking at it, they discover that he's not really with all the alien stuff. And so something crazy happens to him while he's at this conference. Go ahead.
So what about stories that we hear about ancient aliens? Did ancient aliens really put us here? Are they really our creators? Are they really the masters of civilization? Does the Bible or any other ancient text really describe extraterrestrials? Does it really describe...
So that is kind of the talking points from a lot of folks in the alien conspiracy conversation, is they believe that aliens built the pyramids, aliens built these ancient civilizations, they had technology that was revolutionary, they are light years and light years ahead of us. And that is the type of conference that Michael Heiser is at, and he's going to be addressing this stuff.
Beings that lived on and came from other planets using technology to get here? Or is there something else going on? I think, as bizarre as it sounds, Ancient Aliens as a show, and shows like it, it's not the only one, have a huge, vast reach into the pop culture. Millions and millions and millions.
You know that guy is from Oceanside?
Really?
Pull it back, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the aliens meme guy.
Vast reach into the pop culture.
Yeah, this dude is local.
Wow.
Yeah, he's around here.
Millions and millions and millions of people have seen not only just one episode, but actually follow the series.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really truth by anomaly. And the Bible gets drawn into that because it's an ancient book. It's not the only one. But if I can step in there and say, look, the people who are telling you these things, or giving you these ideas, giving you these theories about human origins, they're lying to you.
Woo!
Zechariah.
The people telling you about these things and trying to tie in the Bible, because what they'll do is they'll be like, oh, look at this. Like, if you look at this cloud, you know, you could actually read it in the original language to say that it's like a spaceship. And they'll kind of like contort by trying to go to the original language and make it look like the cloud over Moses was really it gets really goofy with some of this stuff. And so the fact that he's in this element and he's calling these people out at their own conference is pretty amazing.
Heiser, who's no longer living, he's deceased a few years ago, claimed to be an ancient languages expert. He was presented by his publisher and his publicist as a scholar of ancient languages. I don't believe that Zechariah Sitchin could read or translate any ancient language. It was disappointing at first because I thought he might be a kindred spirit. He was not.
Oh, no!
He's basically making up an alien narrative out of ancient Near Eastern texts, like the Enuma Elish or the Gilgamesh epic. And his claim to fame, his original book is called The 12th Planet, where he describes his belief, based upon his alleged translation work, that the Sumerian tablets describe a civilization of extraterrestrials known as the Anunnaki, who came to Earth from a planet called Nibiru and created human beings and or genetically modify an existing ape-like creature to create humans out of that thing.
Joe Rogan actually talked about this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then this
stuff
where,
is super pervasive.
Yeah, and this is he says he believes it's all cap, but he wants it to be true.
Of course, because if this is true, then there's no God.
Yeah.
And there's no need to submit to a God. There's no need to examine what is the natural law of God and how would God have us live.
Yeah, and in a weird way, it's it's like an atheist version of God, though. It's like, oh, there's someone that came down and is a creator and did all these things.
Absolutely.
What a trip.
Yep.
This is his narrative, and he has convinced millions of people this is the true history of life on this planet. Now, the reason that's demonstrably wrong is you can actually go look up online the term Anunnaki in all of the Mesopotamian texts that Sitchin cites. You will find that there isn't a single tablet that has the Anunnaki on Nibiru. You will find that Nibiru is actually described as Jupiter or Mercury or just a star, but no planet. Again, out in the outer reaches of the solar system, where Sitchin puts it. You'll never find the Anunnaki riding in a craft anywhere. You won't find all of the core ideas, or any of the core ideas, that Sitchin has for his mythology. So it's not very difficult to show that he's wrong. I've gone on a number of radio shows and basically just put it this way. How easy would it be to show that Mike is wrong? All you need to do is produce one line of one tablet that has one of these specific claims that Sitchin makes in that source, and Mike would have to go away.
Right.
Mike is still here. And I'm very, again...
By the way, shout out to whoever did the music on this thing.
Dude, the transitions. He's talking about himself in third person?
Yeah.
You know that's hardcore.
Yeah,
when you're like, Zach is still here, baby. You're like, whoa.
Confronted, but I'm serious about it. I don't like when people are lied to. not just about what's the content of the Bible, but I don't like when they're deceived by the content, some narrative that comes from any other ancient text. But it's a very familiar trajectory for anyone who reads a book by Zecharia Sitchin. They're going to get sort of sucked into this world, and they're going to run across this narrative at some point.
Okay, I think this is it right here.
So, pause it. So he's unpacking how nonsensical this position is, and somehow he gets invited to one of these conferences.
Yep. And this whole conference is based off of this mythology that that he just described how ridiculous this guy's research is, but the whole conference is based off of that research.
Got it.
I was invited to speak at the Bay Area UFO Conference, and I was invited to speak about ancient astronauts. I'm an ancient studies scholar. I'm a biblical scholar. This is great. He was on Coast to Coast, and that was a wonderful interview. Let's have this guy come out and do this. I wasn't vetted at all. In other words, they thought they were getting a believer. I am not.
Pause it. And when he says believer, he means believer in this ancient alien stuff.
Yeah.
He's not talking about Christian
Because
believer.
then he goes, I'm not. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
No, he's not a believer in the ancient aliens.
Yes.
An ancient alien believer. So I went to the conference, and I basically did a lecture on Zecharia Sitchin. And I went to this conference and basically tore his work apart. There's really no other way to say it. And I tried to be nice about it, but I wanted to be firm about it as well. Just dissecting where his errors were. I was asked to leave the conference. I didn't get paid. That was okay, though.
Oh, no!
I've never been invited back, nor did I expect to ever be invited back. But the great thing about the event was my second session, which happened before the one that got me in trouble, was a lecture on could Christianity accommodate a genuine extraterrestrial reality? When you take that topic, you have to get into things like, well, would Jesus have to die on other planets?
Right.
How would aliens be atoned for?
Right.
And so it was well worth the visit, and it was worth getting tossed out of the place to do it.
Interesting. So this first workshop was on this stuff, and his position, and much like a lot of our positions, is that aliens are these dismembered Nephilim that we see in Genesis, that their spirits then roam the earth, and that's where the demons essentially came from, right? Yeah. Fallen angels that are the spirits of these hybrid humans. That's where we believe demons and aliens come from, ultimately. And they're not coming from another galaxy or another universe. They're coming, they're interdimensional beings, right? They're interdimensional beings. We've covered this a lot. We've kind of been reacting to a whole series of this. We'll try to pin it up at the end of this video so you guys can go watch some of the other Michael Heiser clips on this. So he goes and does this lecture and completely exposes the entire thing of, nope, you can't project all these fake interpretations of Near Eastern languages. You have to go back to the reality that these are not extraterrestrial in the sense that they're coming from another thing. These are demons that were dismembered when the flood happened, and these spirits of the Nephilim became the demons. That's Michael Heiser's position. He's done extensive work on this. And I love the fact that he was invited to it. Unfortunately, he didn't get invited back. But in that, I'm sure there was that opportunity to share some of what he learned. What was your takeaway from that, Zach?
I think it's just funny how people like commit their lives to learning this thing, and this is the origin of the earth for them,
right?
Or at least humankind. And then when that's like brutally exposed,
they get mad.
Yeah, and they're like, we're not paying you, we're kicking you out. But it's like, wouldn't you want to know?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to know?
This is similar to the I'm spiritual but not religious crowd. This is the,
there's some.
It's energy. Except like energy, there's aliens, right? The universe. All of said positions don't allow, or all those other positions don't require submission. They don't need you to have objective morality to submit to. They don't have any degree of repentance, and they definitely don't have any degree of who's going to atone for your sins, because a lot of times there is no sin.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like my truth and your truth, right?
Yep.
I'm talking about kind of like the energy people, right? The spiritual but not religious people. This becomes a different category. I feel like this is the more men are interested into this for whatever reason, like this demographic of like aliens and alien hunters. And so I love that Michael Heiser has been doing this work for a long time, and that he's been just crushing it in this area. I think that's amazing. We see, according to the Bible, that prayer is extremely important in terms of us being transformed from the inside out when we get aligned with God's will. For the Christians watching this channel, I want you guys to implement these spiritual disciplines in your day-to-day life. And the only way I've been able to do this consistently is through writing down my prayers in a prayer journal that does a few things. One, it allows me to reflect and come to God humbly and ask Him to move on my behalf. And two, it allows me to document my prayers, which ultimately help me remember the very things that I was praying for and see the hand of God tangibly in my life when He answers them. So I would urge you, consider writing down your prayers. It could be in a blank notebook. It could even be on your phone. Or you could check out the one I personally designed and used for my own quiet time and spiritual discipline that I think will be a huge blessing. It's the exact structure and system that I've used for years to pray and be more consistent in my spiritual disciplines. You can pick yours up today by clicking the link in the pinned comment below. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace.